Thanks for being here, guys. I appreciate your being here, and we're going to have a lot of fun today. And this is a very important moment in our lives, actually, because we're going to be looking at life from every angle we can imagine, from how God sees it, how we see it, how the soul sees it, how the mind sees it. We're going to be talking a lot about God, about you, about me, about life in general, but not aimlessly, but with a purpose. We're going to be talking about all of this with the purpose of looking deeply at how it all functions. As you know, I wrote a book called Conversations with God, but I'm not interested at all in a level of spirituality that has no application to everyday life. Spirituality without application, without functionality, is, in my experience, bankrupt, and I'm not interested. I have no interest in any level of interaction with the divine that doesn't have on-the-ground application in our everyday life. We're going to be looking at that. We're going to be looking at how our beliefs, how our most fundamental understandings of life, how our understandings of ourselves and of God play into the interactions we're having with others and with life itself in this process. Life is not easy, it's not for sissies, but it can be a wonderful, glorious experience. It can be experienced without suffering. It can be a wonderful experience. We'd like to demonstrate that in our time of visiting today. So I'm going to be asking you if you'd be willing to step up here every so often, one at a time, here at the on the stage, and sit here next to me, and we'll look at what's going on with you with regard to your experience and your expression of life. And when we do that, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor and be just as transparent as you can possibly be. Be as visible. Allow yourself to be totally visible. As you know, Conversations with God talks about visibility and transparency being really a characteristic of how we're all going to be living our lives in this new and wonderful age into which we are now entering, which we are now embarking on. So we're going to allow that to be a hallmark of how we're going to interact here. Bring your story to me. Tell me what's true about you and about all of it. And I will share with you what I imagine myself to understand from the messages and Conversations with God, and we'll see if we can come to a place of resolution or peace or deeper understanding. I want to make one thing clear as well. No guarantees here. Please don't hold me to a standard that when you leave the chair, everything is fine and perfect and wonderful, it's all been solved in 16 minutes, because that may or may not happen. It can happen, actually, but it may or may not happen. What I hope to do, however, is to bring you to a deeper understanding of where you can go with what's going on with you and how to get there. So if that's fair, if you feel good and comfortable about that, then I would invite you to join in this conversation with Neale. And let's see where God can carry both of us as we move forward in this wonderful moment of our lives. We're talking today to Cindy, who has agreed to spend some time with me just to see where the intersection is between practical spirituality and real life. Cindy, thanks for sharing these moments with me. Tell me what's going on.
So I'm going to be 50 next week actually, and as about 7 months ago, I was an executive. I lost my job. My son became mentally ill. He's 30. I'm going to lose my home. So I've got a lot of things happening, and I'm trying very hard to not panic and feel fear. So I came today just to listen to you today. And
what could cause you to feel panic? What is fearful?
Not to be able to take care of him. I've always been somebody that's fought my way through life, and I've done well up until now, actually. And having no place for him.
He requires apparently considerable attention moment to moment.
Yeah, he's schizophrenic. He was diagnosed this year with schizophrenia. So I'm very lucky that he can be home, and I want to protect him. There's too many homeless people out there that
Do you feel that you are in danger of actually being homeless?
Yes, absolutely.
Not that you'll lose your home, but you'll be living on the street?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm as of a couple of weeks, I'm out of money, so pretty, I mean, everything is coming to a halt, and I think I wouldn't be so panicky if I wasn't taking care of him. I'm fine on my own, you know. But people don't understand him, and I need to make sure he is in a safe place that I can, just a safe place.
And you have no resources, no friends, no
No,
relatives?
I've used up my resources. I've been unemployed for 7 months. 6 months. My unemployment runs out this month, and it's so weird. My last job was VP of Business Development, so I've always been able to do some sort of sales. And because the corporate world repels me, I'm thinking that's why I'm not attracting the job that I need just to take care of us. I think that's what's happening. It's just everything's going a little crazy right now.
I'm wondering what it is that causes you to imagine that there's no way out of this circumstance. That is, a person of your obvious, forgive me, intelligence and attractiveness as a person, your ability to interact with others, your power, I want to say your personal power, surely would have no reason to believe that in the long term there's no turnaround here for you.
So I think what's bothering me is the situation I'm in. Like, I've always been able to take care of situations. I've always moved up. I've always been able to maneuver. I think what's paralyzing me is the fact that now I understand that I can't just run. I'm the person that just wants to go from job to job, place to place, country to country. I love moving around. Well, I can't. I will not leave him. And, you know, so I think that's kind of where, in a way, I'm feeling a little boxed in. You know, and it's interesting because the job offers that I'm getting,
You've gotten job offers?
well, they're not, well, the way it works now is you go on the internet, you get a headhunter, you go through hundreds of applications, then you get the interviews, and then you go through 4 interviews at least with the jobs I'm doing, right? Because my base is high. So what's interesting is I get to the 4th and I have not been chosen up until now. And so for me, I think it's more like, what's wrong with me? Is it I'm old now? Am I not employable? I'm starting to doubt, and I try very hard to, again, stay calm, stay focused, be present, always try to find the joy and the gratitude in everything. So that's my practice. But the more I go inward, the less things are working for me. That used to work, I guess. So logically, I know that I'm being shifted. I just kind of feel like I'm running out of time.
What if you were running out of time?
I am running out of time. The money is gone in a couple of weeks, yeah.
Yeah, what is the worst that could happen?
Yeah, so I have to think about that always. I live in a car. I mean, see, the thing about me is that my son, people will not take us together. They'll take me so I can sleep on a couch, but they won't take him. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And we will not, I've already told him. He's very afraid right now, and I keep telling him, we will not be separated. So.
I don't think that's going to happen. And I want to tell you that it's my knowing that is not going to happen, not because I have a precognition about it, but because I'm very clear about your determination with regard to it. Mm-hmm. So I would trust that. You're not going to be living in a car either.
No one's going to take us without him, and he's not going anywhere without me. So, yeah. I've gone through resources. I make too much, you know, all the, you know. So anyway, I can go on and on, but.
What did you mean when you said I make too much?
So in the world of, like, if you're trying to apply for, like, well, my unemployment's running out, but even like low income, I mean, I have even been looking at things that I would never do. And I think this is where humility comes in, is that you will do whatever you have to do to make sure that things are taken care of. But the way our system works is you have to be, I don't know, poor. You can't have anything before to get help. So I don't qualify for anything is what I'm saying. I don't qualify for anything. So I have to be homeless and destitute before I get help, and that's not going to happen. So I will figure it out. But I'm here today because I found you 7 months ago or 10 months ago, and as my world was just collapsing, there was a video of you, and you were talking about being 50 and losing everything, and I thought, okay, you were supposed to see this, calm, be calm. So
Let's look at this from a spiritual point of view, may we?
yes.
Cindy, why do you suppose this is happening?
Because I've not been authentic to who I really am, and I've been kind of bullshitting my whole life. That's probably what it is.
I see.
Yeah, I mean, I have a facade. I mean, I'm a great talker and salesperson, but, I've always done things because it was the right thing to do, or it looked right, or it had the right title, and I'm being forced to look at me.
So this is a good thing.
For spiritually, yes. Yes.
But spiritually is all there is.
Well, I need to eat while I'm spiritually evolving. Here's the thing that's funny, is that I've been going on this path of reading all the spiritual books and meditating and doing yoga, and it's easy to be spiritual, and don't get mad at me for saying this, if everything's going fine. But when you
How dare you say something like that?
But man, when shit hits the fan and you have everything is gone, everything that you knew is gone, you really have to dig inside. You really have to dig.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
I'm aware of that. And I've been there.
I know
So I know that you do have to. What happens when you dig it? Because you're just 2 weeks away from the digging.
Yes.
Let's do some digging right now.
Mm-hmm.
When you really have to dig inside, what happens?
Mm-hmm.
See, what do you find there? I'm going to give you a little clue that what you may want to place there as opposed to what you'd find there. What if you switched out worry? Are you a bit worried, right? You sound a bit worried.
Yeah, so my go-to place is fear. I've had to work my whole life into not coming from the fear scarcity mode
Sure.
to more of a loving faith.
So I'm sorry. Did I hear you say you had to work your whole life to move from that fear
Yeah, I've
place?
always been in scare. Like I was raised with we're Latin poor. We
Yeah.
have nothing.
The end is near.
Yeah, the end is near doom.
Be careful.
Yeah. So I had come
Do
from
you suppose that background has anything to do with what's going on now?
yeah, it's hitting the fan. I have to wake up and realize that's not working for me anymore.
Well, I wonder if it's productive of what's occurring. That is, I wonder if it's generating over the period of time exactly what's happening right now. In other words, to put it simply, a self-fulfilling prophecy. That having been worried about it for more than a few weeks, at some level you've had to worry about this for years. You've been looking at it for years about it could all fall apart. I got to be careful. I got to watch what I'm doing. It could all fall apart.
Yeah.
Didn't I just hear you say something close to
Yeah,
that?
yeah, that's exactly it. That's
Yeah.
true.
So I'm wondering whether this is not therefore a self-fulfilling prophecy. But I'm going to give you whether it is or not is irrelevant. The fact is it's happening. That's what's relevant. So, but I'm going to offer you an opportunity to move to a new place on the playing board. Do you think it's possible that you could go to a place on the playing board of life called gratitude?
Every morning, I thank God I have a place to eat and sleep. Yeah.
Yes, but not only gratitude for having a place to eat and sleep, but let's go to a different place or a larger place, may I put it that way. Do you think it's possible for you to go to a place where you're grateful for actually what's happening and the way it's occurring?
So, rationally, yes, I've been trying to do that.
You can't try to do it.
I know that, and that's the allowing that I need to understand. How do you go with the flow and allow? Yeah,
How do you?
I'm here to hear that. I think the bottom line is that, and intellectually, I know what I'm supposed to do.
See, it's not an intellectual experience, it's a spiritual
I know
experience.
it is, and that's what I need to figure out is how do I allow where I'm supposed to be going to just be.
More than allowing it to just be, that's a good step, Cindy, it's a great step. But more than just allowing it to just be, would be to actually welcome it with gratitude. Thank you, God, for bringing me this experience. Thank you, God, for creating this opportunity. Thank you, God, for this extraordinary moment in my life, which I am very clear is perfect no matter how it turns out. Because, Cindy, your life is a spiritual experience having nothing to do with your physical reality. Although I understand that your physical reality feels like what your life is about and feels very important. And I heard what you said a minute ago. I heard, don't think I didn't hear it. I heard you when you said, if it were just me, I'd be fine.
Well, that's why I'm being given this, right?
Yes.
I already know that, and he's a gift. You know, I love my son.
So my suggestion is to move fully into gratitude, and a tool that I would give you, because you're wondering how to do that,
Right.
is to allow yourself each day when you arise and each evening when you retire, whether you're on the street, in the backseat of a car, or living someplace, wherever you are, to step into that place of gratitude by actually verbalizing it in your mind. Thank you, God, for helping me to understand that this circumstance, this situation that's now occurring, is occurring for my highest benefit and to provide me with an opportunity. Now, I'm going to ask you, if what I'm saying was true, maybe we're making it all up here, but let's pretend that what I'm saying is true.
Yeah.
Let's pretend that this is being created, I want to say, collaboratively by you, your son, the universe, all beings collaborating to create this experience in your life. Why do you think it would be doing that?
Well, I think I've been taught a lot these last 7 months.
You can't be taught anything.
I've learned.
You can't learn anything. Cindy, everything you've ever needed to learn, you already know.
Okay, so aware?
You're becoming,
Aware.
you're being reminded.
I am being reminded.
And the opportunity here is that you're being reminded of what you've always known about life. See, the tree outside, the tree outside has learned nothing from the time it was a seedling to the time it was the mighty oak outside on the sidewalk. It has not learned anything. It's just become more of what it always was. And if God so loved the tree that it would encode the tree with everything it needed to know to be that beautiful mighty oak, I promise you that she would encode you at the moment of your birth with everything you needed to know. So life is not a process of learning. It's a process of remembering. Now I'm going to ask you a very key question. If you thought that life was a process of remembering, what is it that you think that you were being invited to remember?
Really to have total faith in me and in who I'm connected to.
I'm
to be
sorry.
honest.
Would you repeat that again, please? Because I may have missed it. You're being invited to remember to what?
Have total faith in me and in God.
That doesn't sound like the place you were in when you sat in this chair. When you sat down in this chair 15 minutes ago, it didn't sound like you were a person who is experiencing and expressing total faith in you and in God.
Yeah.
But if you can move to that place before you get out of this chair, you will have shifted the energy so powerfully, so palpably, that it could in fact alter the energy itself that is swirling around you right now with regard to being chosen for that job, getting past the fourth interview, or whatever it might be, because it's the energetics of it. See, worry is praying for the wrong thing. Did you hear what I just said?
Yeah, I know that. I listen to your
Good.
tapes.
Good. So what I want you to do is to allow yourself to stop worrying, judge not by appearances, allow yourself to know that perfection is playing itself out. Even if you do wind up living with your son in a car for a couple of weeks, I'm not predicting that, but I'm simply saying that consider all possibilities as perfect, and notice that at the end of the process, that the right and perfect outcome is going to occur. If you can stand in that place of faith and knowing that you've just described a minute ago, that shift of your energy to move into the adventure of the next several weeks and months with assurance that it's all going to turn out, then you will change the acronym for fear. The acronym for fear, F-E-A-R, will suddenly become feeling excited and ready.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Feeling excited and ready.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
God, bring it on.
Bring it on.
See, because yeah, you see, there you are, because you have that kind of power, that personal power, and you have the ability to call upon the universe to bring it on. And I want to suggest to you something that, well, let me just ask you. Maybe I can get you to find it yourself. And if you don't find it yourself, I'm going to give it to you. Okay?
Okay.
Why would you be grateful for what's happening now? That is, what are you seeking in the long term to remember about yourself?
I guess you spend your whole life pretending you're something you're not. And it's kind of like coming to Jesus, where you start looking at who you really are.
Who are you really?
Well, if we're all part of a divine beauty, then I am beauty.
Yes,
and love.
And what your beauty and love, and what else are you?
I'm part of God. I don't
On a level of 1 to 10, how much power do you have as a person?
Well, considering I always manifested, I am a 10. I mean, I'm very strong and powerful that way. But I believe that my times run out for fisting it through, and the power has to come from something. I want to come from love, not fear.
Let me ask you a question. Has it been okay with you? Well, I'm going to ask you 2 questions.
Yeah.
One question. Has it been okay with you? How long have you been powerful? That is, how long have you conceived of yourself as a powerful woman?
I never did, and up until now, I knew how powerful I was. I mean, for me to go through every day smiling and no one knowing what's going on, I would say I'm pretty damn powerful. And for
I thought so. So really, you're just stepping into your
yes,
awareness.
Yeah. I'm just stepping in too. I never saw.
I see that
that.
this is exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
And I want to tell you that 10 minutes ago I knew that. That is, that's why I was leading it. The witness, I'm leading the witness, to be honest. But I understood that you are stepping into the perfect opportunity to demonstrate what you've just come to know about yourself.
Yes, I believe that.
Great. Because if you can believe that,
No, I believe that, definitely.
great. That's exactly where I want to position you energetically. And then you know what you can be grateful for. Because it's one thing to say, be grateful, gratitude. But now you know what to be grateful for because you agree with it. See, you agree with it. I agree that I am now stepping into my power.
Yeah.
I agree that I am now having, and life is giving me an opportunity, glorious opportunity to demonstrate the power that I now acknowledge that I have and that I am. So I say, thank you, God. I say, thank you, God, for that. You couldn't have set it up any better. And that's where you get to be grateful, and that's where you get to be shifting the energetics around this, and watch what happens when you move to that place. Are you willing to go there?
Hell yeah. Heck yeah.
Thank you, Cindy. That's marvelous. Good job. Thank you very much. That's just terrific. I appreciate your being open with me and willing to go there. And then you connect with me again in the next few months and watch where you're going to be. You will not be in the back of a car somewhere, I promise you. But you've got to stay on track. Grateful every morning. Thank you, God, for this opportunity to now demonstrate the power that I've just discovered or allowed myself to announce and become aware of that I really have and that I really am. And that's where the gratitude will come in, and watch that gratitude shift the energetics. This is a very important moment in your life, Cindy, honestly, because you've found something that you can be grateful for. It's hard to be grateful for losing your job. It's hard to be grateful for being out of money. It's hard to be grateful for losing your house and so forth. But it's not hard to be grateful for something for which you are really grateful, which is the opportunity to demonstrate and experience fully the power that you've now acknowledged is yours to own. So I'm very, 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 very happy for you, and thank you. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you so much.
It's been really, really be great, and I hope this takes you into a whole new trajectory. I'm sure that it will. I'm sure that it will.